Hello and welcome back to the Dear Video Games podcast. My name is Curtis and I write about video games. And of course, this is our open letter to our favorite hobby, this podcast. And I am joined by Walter Slapadelic, my co-host, the Bay Area rapper
doing?
with the Majora's Mask shirt on. I'm just realizing that.
Yeah. I was like adjusting my chair and stuff so you can see it, like sitting like that. Like
Yeah, I was like, oh, we got and I'm over here repping, of course, today's Tupac's birthday.
That's right, it is.
So
Yeah.
happy birthday, Pac. And then you're over
Yeah.
here like, well, the world's ending, so
Yeah.
with the Majora's
Yeah.
Mask.
It's an oddly prescient game now.
Mhm. Very highly depressing game. Dude, if you have the time, this podcast might go for a while. This podcast is probably gonna go to like 10 o'clock my time. We're probably looking at like 8 o'clock your time because we have so much to talk about. We haven't really been on recently. I forgot what was going on. I moved. That's why the background looks a little bit different. I had to get like a whole new setup.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. It's like, oh,
Now that you mentioned it, you are in like a completely different place now.
So, I got that going on now. And of course, so many things have happened, and I have a few announcements too with Dear Video Games and everything like that. So, after this episode of Dear Video Games airs on YouTube, or we're live, of course, we are going to actually end up being on Spotify.
Oh shit! Nice. I was wondering when that was gonna happen.
It's like, well, to put it another way, I was wondering when Curtis was gonna finally do it. Like, when was he finally gonna put us on Spotify? Well, right after this, I'm gonna upload this very episode. It's gonna go right to Spotify. We're gonna hook it up. Me and Walter, we're gonna be great. You can listen to us when you're driving. You listen to us when you're working out. Because I was getting the benefit because I have YouTube, what is it called? YouTube TV. So I was getting the benefit of listening to us when I'm running and stuff like that. So I felt kind of bad. I was like, let me put us on Spotify, and I think it's time for the video games to expand.
Put us in your headphones when you go to bed. You dream about us,
Dream about us and play us on YouTube, on the TV.
Yeah.
I don't know if Walter, I don't know if you see the new background, but we have a pet goat now named Mike. And you have to give a like for Mike. Yeah. Just giving us a little fun there. So if you are watching on YouTube, make sure you guys give Mike a like for Mike. You know what I'm saying?
That's really good. I like that.
Yeah. I just came up with it.
It's a hell like you goat.
Yeah, it's a goat like Michael Jordan. All right, man. So the first thing we're going to talk about, of course, is something that we should have talked about earlier this month, but we ended up not talking about it because we didn't get around to it. I was going to have a guest, by the way. My man Steven, he just kind of called out the last minute. It was just, we had it all set up, and I was kind of telling him, oh, we're going to do it this week. We're going to do it the next week. We're going to do it the next week. And it never came around, and he was kind of like, I finally can't do it. And I was like, oh, okay, it's cool. But he was a writer from The Median and from Sports Gamers Online. He was going to join us, but it's cool. We'll have him on soon. But this month in gaming, we have a few games that have already came out, and we do this every time. This is one of our favorite segments. We go through all the games that are going to come out in the month of June, and we're already halfway through, but a lot of games have come out, and me and Walter will kind of go through the games we're going to get and all that stuff. So the one that I want to talk about immediately, this is what I'm saying, this podcast is going to be so long.
I think my camera froze.
Your camera froze?
Yeah, let me just revise my camera.
No. This is the fun stuff that you won't see on Spotify. I'll probably edit this part out. We get to look at his awesome Google picture.
Yeah, it's so epic. Yeah.
I didn't know what was going on. What is in front of the camera?
That's the wrong camera. That was the actual laptop camera that I have like a little that the webcam is
right.
Is like
I thought there was like a fire going on. I was like, what in the world?
So just unplug the camera, then my house just explodes. That would be my luck.
The first game is Diablo Immortal. That came out June 2nd.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god. What's funny is like I completely forgot about it, and I was hearing people, obviously just complain about it.
Yeah.
And I was like, where have I heard that name before? Then I was like, oh, that's right. It's the Do You Not Have Phones game.
Yeah. It's the out of season April Fool's joke.
Yeah.
That's what it is. It's the
Yeah.
out of season April Fool's joke. That's what that guy said. Um, it's
Hmm.
it's getting the flack that I expect it to get. By the way,
Yeah. I mean, well. So it's getting the criticism, like the level of criticism I expected, but the level of absurdity that for the things that they're doing, I
yeah,
was completely blown away by.
right.
I had to like rewatch like the thing I saw on it like a couple of times to make sure I heard it right. Because they're like, in order to maximize your character, it would cost up to like 110 grand.
Wow,
It's like there's like no way, right? Like
that is
that's
ridiculous,
unbelievable. Yeah.
unbelievable. I don't know why are microtransactions still this bad? Walter, give me some answers. Why
It's
is microtransactions still this bad?
I think it's just people they just brute force it onto people and people just do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And it's like even if not even if the amount of people that do it is less,
yeah.
it's like the whales or whatever they call them. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's the people that are going to spend $110,000
They're actually gonna mess
to
around and do it.
yeah, yeah, which is, I mean,
Which is
I don't even
ridiculous.
want to like really blame the people that do it because they're mostly just getting like swindled. You know,
Yeah. Uh,
it's
from what I'm seeing when it comes to reviews, when it comes to like the criticism, it seems like the gameplay is actually good, but it's the microtransactions that are
Mhm.
getting the consumers pissed.
Yeah.
That's why it got the Metacritic it got from the consumer, and then it
Hmm.
got like what, like an 80 from like Metacritic. I'm pretty sure I'm off on that,
Hmm.
but it seems like it's coming out. It's like an 8.5 from this outlet and an 8.5.
Yeah.
So it's like the game and the gameplay itself is decent, but the microtransactions are making it really bad.
Yeah. Well, and that's another aspect of it where they're getting really like brazen, because they'll pretty like openly give the reviewers, you know what I mean, like much better versions of the game.
Yeah.
I mean, I even experienced that when I play tested,
Mm-hmm.
when it was Gran Turismo, and I was like, wow, this is really cool that you could just naturally unlock everything
Yeah,
and not have
yeah, yeah.
microtransactions, and then they did all that,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it's definitely bold to do that, because especially now that people know that that's what they're doing. They're showing the reviewers a game that doesn't have microtransactions, or not like super in your face ones at least, and it has like, and it's just a Diablo game that you
Yeah.
can play on your phone.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then,
What's I guess what's a little bit like that is like a reviewer. Sometimes we get like games that are gonna get updated maybe a week after we
Mhm.
review them, or a few days after we review them. Like I'm reviewing Redout 2, and Redout 2 was getting an update, and I see what they're talking about when they said, look, we're gonna have an update for like a
Mhm.
few of the things, small things that are going on. Well, one of the things that are wrong with the game, that's wrong with the game, is the soundtrack is like kind of skipping a little bit. And it's
Oh,
like,
weird.
yeah, some of the sounds and stuff are kind of skipping a little bit when you
Hmm.
play the game. So it's like, you I don't know if you ever seen Red Out or played it, but it's like this game really solely has a,
Somewhat familiar with it.
yeah, it has like a really good soundtrack, and that's kind of part of the game, and all the sounds that all
Hmm.
these hover ships make, and that's kind of part of the experience. So right now it's not like the experience is bad, because the visuals are freaking amazing in this game, giving you a little bit of my review, but like the soundtrack of it is like, the
Hmm.
sounds and stuff like that, it's a little off, but
Yeah. Well, and I
that's
guess
different.
I suppose for stuff like that you can disregard it because it's
Mm,
like, you know, they're gonna wait until the game comes out to do like the very last minute fixes, and
yeah,
it's something to do with piracy and this and that too and everything. And
I
yeah,
believe it.
I
Yeah.
mean, that kind of stuff makes sense. But then when like with Cyberpunk, or like even like I think one of the Crash Bandicoot games did it, where they like had like this really good version of the game that they gave to all of the big name reviewers,
Yeah.
and then and then when the game came out, they were like, oh well, now there's hella
Yeah.
microtransactions actually.
Yeah. It sucks.
Yeah.
Sucks a lot. I just looked at the time. I was like, probably 9:30. I don't know why I said 10. That's like 2 hours and yeah, like 2 hours and a half. Like goodness, 2 hours and 30 minutes. Anyway, so we have Star Wars: Knights of the Old Republic 2, the Sith Lords, Nintendo Switch. coming out June 8th. I don't know if you played the recent ones for Nintendo Switch yet. I got it. I played a little bit
No,
of
I
it.
haven't played it on Switch yet. Uh, I just kind of had to put a hold on buying like games for a little bit because just you know random like just bunch of expensive stuff came up,
Right, right.
but
Life
yeah,
happens.
yeah, I had to do maintenance on the car and all that kind of shit.
Hmm.
But like that one I do want to get on the Switch because I played it a little bit on the PC like hell years ago when I
Yeah.
first got this computer, and it on the I mean I don't know if maybe I just like didn't really know what I was doing at the time with like running games or something, but like it's not that it was ran poorly, but it was definitely showed its age in a way that made it hard to like really play for a long period of time,
Okay.
um but but I think that was just because I'm not really that good with the mouse and keyboard, and I'm like, if it was just on the Switch, I think that game is perfect for something on the Switch.
Hmm. I get a lot of games, especially like Kotar, like they come out and haven't really aged the best. They always just look
Mhm.
better on Switch because you could just play it kind of undocked and it just looks like it fits the Switch
Yeah,
perfectly.
I mostly play my Switch in handheld mode. Just sitting on the couch watching TV. Just it's like it's like a Game Boy. It's like a
Yeah.
really fancy Game Boy. That's exactly how
Really
I played Game
big
Boy
Game Boy.
25 years ago, and that's how I
Yeah, I like it.
play Switch now.
I,
Wow.
I like it. I like it. Mario Strikers Battle League came out.
Oh, is that already? Wow. This is a packed month. I didn't even
Yeah.
realize it.
I
I
passed
was like,
up.
I don't even want to look at the store right now.
I passed up Tour de France 2022 as a review. I'm just not into cycling. Uh, so yeah, June 10th, Mario Strikers Battle League. I heard what did it get? Like, what are outlets giving it? Like an 8? It's okay, right?
Those games, the Nintendo, like the Mario sports games, that if you like those types of games, like the straight up ones,
Yeah.
they're just like, just wacky versions of those. You know what I mean? Like I'm not super into golf games in general, so like Mario Golf isn't exactly my thing, but their spin on it does make it like way more like
Mhm.
fun. You know what I mean? Than
Mhm.
something like, I don't even know. I don't even know who the golfer is that they named the game after anymore.
It's Roy McIlroy.
Roy McIlroy. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
um, I mean, I don't know what I was in for it at first, and then when it came around to buying it, I was like,
It's like, do I want to pay $60 for it?
yeah, I
Yeah,
think I'm good on Mario Strikers. Just this year,
yeah.
I think I'm good on it.
Nintendo
Uh,
makes great games, but they're tripping sometimes, like with their prices.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Like some of their games could be $40.
Easily.
Yeah.
We have Resident Evil. I don't know why I can't talk right now. Resident Evil 2, 3, and Village all coming to the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X and S, June 13th, which came out already.
I guess I thought that they already did their updates,
I
like the
get,
console updates.
I don't. I
I
guess
guess I
this
just
is it.
assume every game did because like I keep putting into PS4 games into
Yeah.
my PS5, and it'll be like, do you want to upgrade to
Hmm.
the new next generation version? And sometimes it's free, and sometimes it's $10. And so
Right.
you know, Horizon let me update for free. Death Stranding charged me $10.
You almost said Kojima charged me $10. He went
Kojima
to your
Kojima
house.
took $10 for
He
me.
went to your house and said, "Give me
Yeah,
it. Give me it."
he knocked on my door and he
Yeah.
said, "Where's my money?"
Yeah. Thank
It's
you,
like, okay,
Slapadelic son.
yeah. Only go there. Kojima could just straight up rob me like that.
Yeah,
It's a good game. I can't argue with this.
exactly. Death Stranding is definitely that really one of those interesting
Hmm.
connoisseurish kind of games, I guess you
It's
could
just
say.
as good on the second playthrough. Also, like
Good.
I was a little worried that maybe like the awe of playing it wouldn't be
Mm-hmm.
there of like after you play it for the first time, but
Mm-hmm.
it totally still
The
is.
game definitely has a unique taste.
Hmm.
Red Out 2, which I'm playing, what came out today. Red Out 2. We'll be doing a review on that. I like it so far. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge came out today. I'm I'm this close to buying it. I still haven't bought it.
So is that because I feel like I heard a little bit about it like a
Mhm.
long time ago, and then I didn't hear anything about it until like yesterday, I guess, when it was about to drop.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And so like is it like a like a remake of the SNES games or something, or the arcade?
Oh well, it is like one of the.
Or is
It
that
is just like
it's
the
in that
'80s.
style?
Yeah, it's like
Hmm.
that '80s beat 'em up. It's like a half shell beat 'em up. And it
Hmm.
looks. I played it at PAX East. It was good.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice. Yeah, but the Ninja Turtle arcade and the Turtles in Time on the
Hmm.
Super Nintendo, those games are great. They
Amazing
slap.
games. Amazing games. And this definitely uh takes a lot of inspiration for them. Um, oh, we have. I don't know if you're this interested in this game. I think we talked about it a little bit. We've talked about this. Might be the third time.
Hmm.
Sonic Origins.
Oh right, yeah, yeah. It's one that I keep forgetting about. And my camera froze again, but I can keep talking while I fix it.
Okay.
Uh, but and it's like honestly, despite all of the sort of goofiness around them launching it,
Mm-hmm.
it's I mean, I think it's really cool that it exists at all. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like, um, yeah, I mean, it's
It
just
seems like it's
remakes
getting.
of the
It seems like it's getting caught up in some of the backfire that Frontier's getting.
some of the controversy and
Yeah.
stuff. Well, and also because of their goofy tiered
Yeah.
system thing that didn't really make any sense.
Right.
But like, you know, I mean, Sega is a sort of goofy company sometimes. So you gotta
Yeah.
they're it's like how we say Nintendo's gonna Nintendo. Sega's
Mm-hmm.
also gonna Sega.
Sega. Yeah. Sega's unfortunately gonna Sega.
Sega's gonna Nintendo also.
Sega's
But
gonna Nintendo.
but
Yeah.
yeah, like just modern remakes of the OG Sonic games. I mean, yeah, that's like the perfect.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. I don't see anything wrong with that. Like those are some of my favorite games ever. Sonic 2 on the Genesis was literally the first video game I ever played.
Nice. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, that might have been mine maybe too, I think. Sonic Origins, I think I'm gonna end up getting it. And yeah, I think I'm gonna end up getting that because I think it was more between like that and getting the Ninja Turtles game. But I'm gonna talk more about
Hmm.
my back catalog that I jumped like recently started building up, and
Hmm.
it seems like it gets bigger and bigger every month.
No, it sneaks up,
Mm-hmm.
like
It's true.
it sneaks up on you. Like that's exactly what happened to me too. Because now all of a sudden it's like, okay, well now I'm playing the Death Stranding director's cut
Yeah.
and Horizon Forbidden West and Miles Morales, and then but also on the Xbox there's the Mass Effect,
Yeah.
and you know what I mean. And it's
Yeah.
just like,
And the fact that you haven't played the Mass Effect one, I'm like, oh my goodness, that came out a
I'm like
while ago.
I'm like I'm like some ways of the way through the first one. I
Mm.
honestly like, which I think this is actually a good thing about it. I have no way of knowing how far into the game I am.
Yeah.
I have no idea. I don't know.
I think I dropped Mass Effect
There's like
1 for so
significant stuff that's
long.
happened.
I dropped Mass
Hmm.
Effect for 1 for so long, and I was like, I was gonna jump back in, and I did not know what the hell I was doing. I was like, oh man, how did I get this
Yeah.
far? Dang.
One thing that I did notice, because that sort of happened to me the last time I played it. I was just like in a room, and I'm like, "What the hell room? You know what I mean? What am
Mm-hmm.
I doing?"
Mm-hmm.
But you kind of have to dig a bit through like the logs and stuff because
Yeah.
it's not like 100% straightforward. But it will, after reading a little bit, I was able to be like, okay, I remember now. I know where I need to go. And stuff.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah. Yeah.
like I guess they're gonna make me read.
um Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes. Anything on that? I know a lot of people
No.
are Fire Emblem fans.
Oh, it's right. It's like the Dynasty Warriors one. I was like,
I
man,
think
that
it is
title
that.
just keeps on going.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it is that.
It's a whole sentence.
It is. Yeah, right. Uh Disgaea 6 Complete Edition, I guess it is. Um
I don't really know anything about
and
any of those
anything about
games.
Disgaea? Okay, Disgaea, I think I played Disgaea 5 once. Really wasn't my thing. That's for big JRPG people. If you're into that,
Mhm.
hey, there it goes. There goes the 6th one complete, as they say.
There's that whole section of JRPGs where the titles of the games to me are just complete gibberish. It's just like it's just random syllables.
Disgaea 4, the cat that did a backflip.
Yeah, that's exactly what it
On
is.
fire. Uh
Yeah.
F1 2022. I don't know if you this sport is just getting bigger and bigger. F1, Formula 1.
Yeah, it's I played a little bit of the last F1 game when it was on Game Pass, and like in a technical level, it's really impressive. Like it's
Mm,
super like you know, really realistic graphics and stuff like that.
yeah.
I'm just it's such a simulation of like driving an F1 car that I'm terrible at it. I'm so bad at it. I was like, I'm gonna go back to playing like Forza or something, you know?
Which is, I guess it's a, I guess that is a good thing though, right? Like it's like it because
Because you
I've
know,
never
if
played it.
anyone that, yeah, you have to like, it's like the little pop up came up. It's like you need to um you need to compensate for like oversteering and back twist or whatever. And I'm like, I don't know what those words mean.
What?
I'm not a Formula One driver. I'm just playing a video game.
So it really does recreate that experience, which from what you're telling me, that's good.
It's really impressive. Yeah,
Yeah.
and, you know, people. I'm sure most people who pick it up, you know what they're getting into.
Hmm.
You know, it's like with the anything that's like that heavy on the simulation part. You know,
Yeah.
like like I think there's like a point, at least like for me, where when it becomes too much of a simulation, it's
Hmm.
like, you know, if I wanted to do the thing, I would just do that.
You
I
just
would
do
just go
that.
do the
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, no, I completely hear that.
Like
Uh,
farming simulator and like flight simulator. Like the graphics are so impressive in Microsoft Flight Simulator that it's
mhm,
like genuinely ridiculous to look at. But I don't know. I just it never has seemed like it'd be like a fun game to play.
mhm.
It'd be fun to learn how to fly a
We
plane. But
reviewed the last one, and my managing editor Mike Straw, he gave it a 10. He
hmm.
gave the game a
Well, and
10.
see that people love it. Yeah, the
Yeah.
people who are into it love it. Yeah.
I was like, "Oof, wow, 10." MX versus ATV Legends. I haven't played an MX versus ATV game in a very long time. Very long
Is
time.
that the is that
Yeah.
the Monster Energy one?
Uh,
I think it is, right?
no, it's not the that's come and gone, but
Oh, okay.
I mean it's I would think it's something like that, but then there's ATVs in it.
You
So
tell me there's not going to be any Monster Energy in the
oh no,
ATV
totally,
versus.
totally will. No, totally will. That's what the MX part is. I'm pretty sure that's the
Yeah, yeah,
Supercross part. Yeah,
yeah.
yes, definitely, 100%. I will bet my mortgage on it. Okay.
Hmm.
Um, Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak. Is this a DLC? That comes out
Oh,
June 30th. I'm sorry. So MX versus ATV Legends comes out June 28th.
mm-hmm.
F1 2022 comes out June 28th. Disgaea 6 Complete comes out June 28th. And Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes comes out June 24th. Just for people listening, like
Hmm.
my fault. I did not read off the dates.
It's fine. They can Google it.
Yeah, you could just. I mean, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
This has to be a DLC of Monster Hunter Rise. I didn't play. I stopped playing Monster Hunter after the one that came to the main consoles, and I'm
That's
done.
another example of a game that is not like bad, you know,
Hmm.
but for me personally is just too much,
Yeah, it's too much. Yeah.
Like I don't want to call it like a simulation because it's so like fantastical, but it's
Mm.
like it feels like this would be really how it would feel to like hunt like a
Yeah.
T-Rex or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like
It's very tedious in a lot of steps.
it turns
Right.
out it kind of sucks,
Yeah.
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 But again, it's like, you know, the people, I have a couple of friends who just absolutely love that game, and like it got all kinds of awards and stuff, and you know they're technically very good. I just am very bad at it. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
I could see it appealing to people who play like the deer hunting games and stuff.
I think with Monster Hunter Rise, I just didn't get into it because it was a lot like Monster Hunter. I keep forgetting what the other Monster Hunter World. That was the one I played.
World, yeah.
And then Monster Hunter Rise comes out, and I'm like, this is the same game. Whether they
Mhm.
got new stuff or not, this is the same exact game. It's the same exact grind. I don't want to jump
slightly
into
downgrade
it.
run on the Switch, I
Yeah,
think.
yeah. I don't think
Yeah.
it's a bad game either. I don't think it's a bad game. I think if
Yeah.
you're into it, that's great. That's what you're into. But I don't think
Yeah.
it's a bad game whatsoever.
Like I like played just little bits and pieces of the ones that were on like 3DS and stuff throughout the years, and like the little chunks of the games, like either like demos or just like, you know, borrowing it or something like that. Like, I thought was good. So when I had Monster Hunter World came out on PS4, I was like, I'll probably like that, and I bought it. And I was like, man, I suck at this game.
It is what it is. But Uh,
It is what it is. Yeah.
that is it for June. Definitely, we're gonna do July. July's gonna be. I feel like it's gonna be a dry one. I didn't look. By the way, I got that list from Game Informer. You can go on Game Informer and just do their 2022 video game release schedule. Click on that, and they have the list of everything that's coming out that has been announced with release dates on there. And then towards the end, they have like all the games that haven't had a release date, but they feel like are still coming out, which is a lot. Still, we still have a lot. I want to do, of course, the next thing I want to talk about. It's stupid, but I feel like since me and you haven't talked for about 3 weeks, maybe a month, just like what are we playing right now? What are we playing right now? What's in the back catalog that we're gonna do? What are we playing? I'll let you go.
I was playing a lot of Jedi Fallen Order lately. Because after they announced the sequel, I was like, maybe I'll go back and play the original one.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
did the console upgrade or I guess no, yeah, I did. Yeah, I did do a console upgrade. Yeah. Now I'm questioning myself if I just assume everything gets upgraded or not. And actually, I've also been playing through Bloodborne. I've no idea why what compelled me to re-download it and play it again.
I
But
have no idea. That game has some type of pull on me too.
it's yeah. There's some, and it's funny because a lot of my friends are super um uh, from Soft Miyazaki fans,
Mm-hmm.
and I I I really appreciate him as an artist, but his games are way too difficult for me, except for Bloodborne. You know what I mean? Like, and people they all say like it's not easy by any stretch, but it's the least difficult of the Souls games.
Which
according
is
to
funny
my
for you
friends.
guys to say because
And
I suck at that game
and
so
it's
bad.
it's a brutal ass game, yeah.
Yeah.
But I managed to beat it on the PS4,
Mm-hmm.
and it actually transferred my save data over to the new console because it's still the
Wow.
PS4 version. So they didn't do a
Wow.
console upgrade. So I'm just doing the new game plus now. So I still have the character that looks
You.
like uncannily identical to me. Yeah,
Yeah. Wow. That is so cool. Like you just transferred all that progression. I love that.
yeah.
I love cross progression. I think that is such a
Yeah,
cool
I didn't even
thing.
realize that was happening at first. Like
Yeah.
they did the whole opening cutscene and stuff, and then it came up and it was just like my character, and I was like, oh, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Nice,
Oh, he's back.
nice stuff.
He's
Yeah.
back. Wow. Okay. That's so cool. Yeah, I think cross progression is just one of the coolest features because we're it
hmm
seems like we're going through consoles quicker than we ever had before.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know if you ever heard of the channel Knowledge Hub, but he just kind of does like random, like general tech stuff, and he had this really good segment about how over the time the gap between technical generations is going to get smaller and smaller.
Right.
Like what he was talking about his phones is like the next iPhone or whatever isn't going to be super advanced compared to the current or even like ones
Mm-hmm.
from a few years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I think and in my opinion is that's not really a bad thing because of stuff like this because the PS5 is noticeably improved from the PS4,
Mm-hmm.
but it's also similar enough where you can just move all of the stuff from the old console to the new one and it's just fine. It's
Yeah.
like literally just you just put up in the cloud and then re-download it and it's fine.
Right. Right. Yeah, because the jump from PS3 to PS4 is absolutely massive.
Yeah, and when you see PS1 to PS2, it's like, yeah,
Yeah.
it's like it's crazy. It's like brutal. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? PS1 looked great in the 1990s.
Mhm.
When I was in elementary school, the PS1 was the best graphics anyone had ever seen.
Yeah, that's true.
And then like the PS2 comes out, and you look back at the PS1 and you're like
This is hideous.
this is terrible. Yeah, yeah. Even N64 graphics like hold up better. I feel.
And it's because of the cartoony nature of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
really, really good stuff. So I've been bouncing around a lot. I'm playing. I've been picking up Elden Ring again. I restarted and did a samurai build. He's doing really well. He's doing great. Like, and that's all I'm gonna say
Just
about
living his
him.
best life.
Yeah, he's just living his best life in the lands of between. Like, he's doing great. I've mainly been playing a Tunic in my back catalog recently because July is gonna
You've
be.
been really digging
Yeah,
that game.
I love it. I love it. It is a gem, and when PlayStation owners are able to play it in September, they're gonna love it. It's adorable. The lighting is superb in it. It has this
Mhm.
like Souls like combat with it's like a Legend of Zelda Souls like combat. Like it's
Yeah,
crazy.
because like from the trailer in the name Tunic, and then he's
Mm,
wearing like a kind of a green tunic in the trailer.
mm,
I just kind of assumed it would be just like a Zelda like, as
yeah.
people sometimes say, and which is sort of becoming kind of a subgenre like in and of itself, of
Mm,
like these 2D sort of dungeon based sort of like Zelda-ish games.
yeah.
But which that's what I assumed that was. It's cool that it has the more
Mm,
Dark Souls kind of combat, because Dark Souls itself started as, was supposed to be like a Zelda, like it's like
yeah.
essentially brutal Zelda.
Yeah. Now, when I say like it's like this Dark Souls like kind of combat, it's not like definitively Dark Souls combat. It's
Hmm.
more, it's like Legend of Zelda. What was that? The remake or the remake? Yeah, the remake that came out. The what is it? Link in the Past.
Link's Awakening.
Link's Awakening. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that and
great
Souls
remake.
combat. Oh, really good remake. I do like it. And then it reminds me of Breath of the Wild in the sense of how the story is kind of
Hmm.
told, because there's like this cryptic language that is thrown in your face constantly, but you have to kind of progress through the game for it to kind of start making sense. And then
Yeah.
you're learning just as much of this language as much as like Tunic is. So like I
Oh, interesting.
really like that. I feel like that's very Breath of the Wild-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah, you start learning
Yeah,
it
that's
as more
pretty
as
cool.
yeah, you're learning this world as much as Link is. You're learning this world as much
Hmm.
as like Tunic is. So I think it's one of the best games I played this year. And I really really like it. It's frustrating the hell out of me sometimes, but it's because I know I'm not good at it.
That's funny. Yeah.
Another game I want
When
to
I
jump.
hear Dark Souls combat, just as an aside, I
Yeah,
normally just picture in a general sense, that just means dodging and stabbing.
yeah.
Like
I'm rolling like hell.
you primarily doing combat rolls
Hmm.
in quick stabs.
You are rolling out the way. Like, uh, I recently like I don't know what came over me, and I know you're not gonna like it, but I was just like I need to play Assassin's Creed Valhalla for some reason. Like,
It's on Game Pass now, right?
is it on Game Pass? I still have the
One
seat.
of them came to Game Pass. I was like,
Yeah.
it was one of the ones that I had, because I had the one in Greece. I forget what it's called.
Oh, Odyssey.
Odyssey, yeah.
I
And
played the hell out of that game.
yeah, I really liked that when it came out.
Mm.
And one of the other ones, it's either the newer one, or the
The one in
Origins, the one
Egypt.
from Egypt. I can't remember exactly which one, but one of them came on to Game Pass. And I was like, maybe then, since I'm not giving them money, I'll play it now.
Exactly. You got to give it a shot. I'm trying to find it. I actually, hold on, because you asked me, you was like, it's on Game Pass. No, in an old gamer man that I am, I actually have it physical.
Nice, nice.
I actually have Assassin's Creed Valhalla physical, and I think it's one of the last games I got physical recently.
I still like buying physical games.
Me too.
Like I often just download them nowadays, just
Mhm.
out of convenience. Like just especially like on the Switch, where it's just so, it like makes more sense on the console like that.
Yeah.
But it's still like in my, and I have the Xbox, S, which doesn't even have a disc drive,
Hmm.
and but
So you have no choice
I
at
held
that point.
yeah, but I held out when I got the PlayStation to get the disc drive, because I like having
Hmm.
the physical media. I like
Yeah.
having the stack of games, and yeah. I guess we're
Yeah.
old people,
Yeah.
like I
We're
like going to a store and buying physical things,
Mhm. We're the good we're a
like it's the
dying breed of
1900s.
gamers. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're the dying breed of gamers. Yeah, I'm gonna jump in. I haven't played it, but it's been so long since I played it. My update was about 70 gigs, so I had to
Damn.
wait to play it. Like I'm like I really want to play it for some
Yeah.
reason. So I watched the anniversary of like Assassin's Creed, so I was like, oh, I kind of want to jump back in that Valhalla. I didn't
Mhm.
really give it that big of a chance when I was playing it, or other things were going on. I didn't really give it the chance it deserved, so I'll try it. And then of course I'm
Mhm.
reviewing Red Out 2, and I played the first one, and it's great. It's great. So what else is going in my back catalog? It's looking like either Sonic Origins or TMNT is going to go in the back catalog next.
Yeah, and that's another reason why I've been hesitating to buy new games lately, because it's just like I know that there's like a really good chance that I'm gonna buy it, play it for like 10 minutes, and then not touch it for like months.
Oh,
You know what I mean? And it's like yeah,
That
because I have all
sucks.
these other games. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
and it's like I don't want to,
And
just
I'm not
annoy
even gonna
myself for
lie.
doing
I
that.
might as well just admit it now. I'm doing that with Kotar on
I've
Switch.
done it so much. Yeah.
Yeah, I know
Oh,
I'm
which
doing it.
one?
Kotar on Switch. I'm doing that right
Oh,
now. I played
yeah,
it
yeah.
once and I was like,
Hmm.
it's not that I don't like it. It's just don't really have the.
That's like the prime candidate for a game to do that too.
Yeah.
It's so involved, you know. You're like
Yeah.
I'm raring to go. I'm gonna download it. I'm gonna create my
Mhm.
character. I'm gonna get all involved and
Mhm.
everything, you know.
Mhm.
And then you put it down, and then you're like, oh man, don't want to go through all that to play it
Yeah,
again.
yeah. I
Like,
gotta, really get into it again. Like, yeah,
hmm
it's a lot. But like I said, Cyberpunk next month. Cyberpunk for the new next gen consoles.
Oh,
That's
interesting.
what it is. So with
Yeah,
all the
okay.
updates,
Have you played it
everything.
at all yet?
No, I
You've
haven't
been just
played it
playing on your.
since 20. I probably haven't played it since maybe. When did it come out? Was it 2021 it came out or 2020?
2020,
2021?
2020, I think at the end of 2020, like December, I think.
Okay, let's say yeah. Okay, let's say that. I haven't played it since like February 2021.
Okay.
So
Yeah, like
yeah.
I just, like it was just because I don't really have this nostalgia for like CD Projekt. Like I really like Witcher 3, but I played it like just a couple years ago. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And uh and so like when people were just saying this game is like really bad, like Cyberpunk is like super just terrible, just a very bad game.
Mhm.
And I was like, I'm just not gonna buy it then.
Yeah, just don't. Yeah, don't even
Just
play
gonna
it.
not play it,
Yeah.
yeah, until it stops being bad. It worked out great with No Man's Sky.
uh,
Waited a couple years, and then when I bought it, it was a great game.
yeah. I don't know if Cyberpunk will hit that height. I hope. I
Mhm.
don't know yet. I have to play like with all the updates now and see where it
Yeah,
is.
I mean, it's like you never want a game to be bad. It's like
No, never, never.
if they can pull it out, if
Mhm.
they can if they can pull it through and just and make it into a good game. If they can pull a No Man's Sky, then
Yeah.
I think that'd be
Make it
cool.
happen. Yeah, that'd be dope.
Yeah.
I mean, just recently watching it, it got me really hyped to play it again because I'm like watching people play it and do all these really cool builds and going through the story, and I see how the game and the open like the worlds all together has kind of progressed and been better. So I'm like, and improved. It's getting better. So I'm like, oh, I can't wait to jump back into it. So July should be a good month to do that. It should be dry. Should be good.
Yeah.
Um,
And there is something to say about when a game gets released because of some like
mhm.
deadline or whatever, and then the developers keeps just chugging out these updates after updates after updates until it gets good. It's like that's at least better than just letting it suck. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I hear that.
Like I've playing Biomutant. And I think that's a good example of that. I
Mhm.
kind of flew under the radar, but when it launched, it had all kinds of like glitches and bugs and stuff that
Mhm.
sort of like made it not as fun to play. I ended up just stopped playing it for a while because there was all these like bugs that would like make me lose a lot of progression. And then
Wow, I
they did
didn't
all
know
these
it was that
updates.
buggy. I just thought it wasn't as
Yeah,
good as
and
people wanted it to be.
and there were some little like design parts that were just kind of annoying
Mhm.
to people. And so the developers made like a Discord channel, and they were like updating people every day and talking to everybody and
Mhm.
stuff, and to putting input and everything. And they actually like not only fixed the bugs, but then even a lot of this just like the little quirks about it that people found annoying because they would
Mhm.
just tell the developer, and they'd be like, oh,
Mhm.
okay, we'll work on it. And so it's like I was playing it this like last week, and I was like, yeah, this is the game that it was portrayed as in the original trailers. I feel like now.
I think we should make that. I think that's great. You got a sense of community. You got a sense of like being able to talk to your fans directly, and
Mhm.
you as a community help this game to get to where it needs to be. I honestly just think, in my own opinion, that um,
It should just launch good.
exactly it should just launch in a good
Yeah.
state,
Yeah.
and then you
Yeah.
build that community, and you still talk to your community like, how can we improve this
Because
game?
yeah, because exactly that's I mean, and that's where you want it to be. You
Mm,
want the game to release, in the best state, and
yeah.
like to be the game that people wanted to be when they were buying it. And then you can have this Discord channel and then sort of like build like DLCs and little updates and stuff
Hmm.
like that. And I think that would be like yeah, that would be like kind of revolutionary in a way for
Yeah.
like yeah.
Elden Ring, like on Twitter, like tweeted and was like, thank you for everybody for playing. We're constantly updating the game, and it's just full of full of praise in the comments, and I think that's amazing. Do not get me wrong, like that is the best thing, and it was almost weird to see. Like it was like, what? That's kind of rare to see, but
From Soft's always been popular, but this
Yeah.
is the first time they really became like mainstream. I feel. You
yeah,
know?
I can understand that. Yeah. I was like, where people should probably throw some improvements in there, just some suggestions, like, hey, you should do this.
Yeah, I
And
heard it
this and
didn't run
this.
very
Like,
well on Steam and stuff.
Really? I didn't know that.
Some kind of people were having issues with the PC version, I think.
I think maybe at launch. I think I remember that actually.
Mm.
Yeah. So moving on, because man, we'd be here forever. We're just me and Vald. You guys are seeing us like just catch up, like right now. Like, did you watch the whole?
This is what happens when you do a podcast, but you have ADHD.
Have you watched the whole Xbox Bethesda showcase or?
Yeah. So I watched it. Like I just after it finished streaming. You know, like I watched like the replay of it.
Yeah.
And then like I just really wasn't that interested in like most of the games they were talking about, and I just kind of tuned out. But when I rewatched it, I sort of skimmed through that part and just kind of got to the good stuff. Yeah,
the meat
got
and
to
potatoes.
Kojima,
Yeah.
and then yeah.
We'll go through kind of what was being said and how do you think Xbox did?
I mean, honestly, I think that Starfield. I kept wanting to like I don't know. I kept wanting to say Elden Ring for some reason.
It's like coming out. It's like this ain't it. This ain't it.
Yeah, but
okay,
I think
okay, keep Starfield to yourself because we're gonna get to Starfield in its own thing.
Because I was gonna say I do think overall they did
the showcase
pretty good. Like
pretty good.
it was like I said, a lot of it was kind of boring because
Mhm.
it was just it was like Fallout 76 stuff and stuff I wasn't really that
It
into
was kind
for
of
the most part. But it is cool to see that the Hideo Kojima thing is real. You know that he's. I think that's like So I did a video where I like live reacted to that portion of it, but I didn't get the audio levels right, so you can't really hear what I was saying. but like what I was my initial reaction to seeing that is I think it's cool that he's sort of doing this. Like he goes to Sony and he just makes them like just a banger like game of the year game, in Death Stranding, and then he just jumps to Xbox and just gonna do whatever the hell he's doing with them, which I'm sure is gonna be just as baffling and awesome.
Yeah.
And it's like I hope he makes like a Switch game next.
That'd be insane.
Awesome.
That'd be insane.
Yeah.
That'd be so cool.
Let him make Metroid Prime 4.
That'd be sweet. It'd be some really weird stuff going on, but that'd be cool.
Wild shit.
Yeah, that'd be nuts. I actually think so. Before this started, like I wasn't really excited for it. I mean, I was just like, Xbox is going awesome, great games. I love games, so
I just wanted to see Starfield.
Yeah, all these games and Starfield mainly.
Yeah.
So I was like, when I started thinking to myself, what does Xbox need to do? Like, what have they kind of lacked in recently? And it's like 2022 has been kind of slow for Xbox. Like, basically, it's been very slow. Not many exclusives that came out, and like everything else just seems like it's so spread out and stuff. It's like they need to show us some stuff with some release dates, or like tell us like within the next couple of years, like when are things coming?
Yeah, because they were kind of like de facto on top for like a long time because of just Sony just completely botching the release of the console, know, and so like I mean that's why I got one, because I don't have the previous Xbox. I didn't really have any like I have like a lot of like logistical reasons to get a PlayStation over an Xbox, you know what I mean? But I ended up getting that because it existed at the time, but and I feel like now they're kind of resting on their laurels because it's like
right,
they're still sort of just kind of by default in the top, but like it's getting easier and easier to get the new PlayStations, and like Nintendo, the Switch is like it's the real champion. I feel like it's like lightweight, like it's everybody has a Switch, like everybody has a Switch. People have like multiple Switches at this point,
and everybody just the fact that I think the thing is that the fact that like Nintendo Switch can get away with anything. Like it's $60 for this, $60 for a remake, $60 for a game that came out a couple years ago. It's like, oh my goodness, a remaster, $60.
they can just release a console where the controllers don't work and they treat the fans and employees like shit, and they charge way too much for old games, and people like me are like, you can't take my money.
Yeah. Splatoon 3.
I liked when I was a child. Yeah, like that's. I mean, that's literally what I say when I'm buying the games.
I'm gonna be a kid. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I actually think Xbox did really well because they came out and immediately they were like, "Look, we know what we need to do, so we're gonna give you this. This presentation is gonna show more gameplay than we ever had in any other presentation. We're
I
also
did appreciate that it was
yeah,
mostly just gameplay. It wasn't a lot of like hokey trailers like I'm kind of
yeah, like mock gameplay and the CGI trailers, and then they were like, these games and only these games are gonna be shown." And they're gonna come out within the next 12 months, because they could have shown a mock trailer of freaking Fable, and wasted the time.
Elder Scrolls 6.
Yeah, Elder Scrolls 6.
They could have done a flyover of a different hill.
Yeah, like
oh wow,
a dragon. Oh, that guy just got shot in the knee with an arrow.
I saw this thing where the Skyrim grandma.
Yeah.
She said,
Bethesda
needs to hurry up with Elder Scrolls 6 because I want to play it before I die.
And that's like, the saddest thing you could ever hear. That's sad. She's everybody's grandma. That's sad. Yeah. So I
don't think she's like sick or anything.
No, no. Old. Yeah. She's just she's an older woman. She's great.
Pressure's on, Todd.
Yeah. Right. And y'all put her in the game. Like, that's the thing about it.
Yeah.
And I think they structured the presentation right, because like the beginning was Redfall, which is a big game. Then they did Diablo in the middle. Then they did Starfield at the end. But Bethesda, Xbox is so good with like showcases though. They've been like that for a while, especially like with the Cyberpunk Keanu Reeves joint.
Well, and especially the last couple of years, all these companies have just sort of just copied what Nintendo does with the directs.
Yeah,
which is what I've been saying they should do for like ever since Nintendo started doing that. I'm like, this is just like a really good idea that every other company should just completely steal. Like, they should just call them directs. Like, I don't care. Like, this is a good way to get
Xbox Direct.
Lists. Yeah, it's way better than having to sift through hours and hours of E3 footage. Just people just sitting around.
Yeah, just talking or whatever. Yeah. I hate it. So the first game was shown was Redfall. Any excitement for Redfall? I'm actually excited for this. I think it's Dishonored looking. Looks cool. Shooting up vampires. It's like a vampire cult. Then you have people that are trying to, that have a cult that are like worshiping the vampires, I guess. Looks cool.
It's one of those games that I keep sort of forgetting about, and I'm not sure exactly why, but it's like I guess because it keeps getting overshadowed by like other games that they talk about right after, or what, you know what I mean? Like,
oh, okay.
I don't know what it is, like, but it does seem interesting. It's definitely one of those games that like I'm probably gonna just be like looking around and being like, oh, this guy,
that's cool.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Aren't you a Hollow Knight person? Don't you like? Have you played Hollow Knight?
I haven't played Hollow Knight. That is in the genre of games that I call platformers that are mean to me. You know, like they're just like, they're really pretty and they're well made, but after there's like comes like a point like where I hit a brick wall in games like that, like the Hollow Knight, like Celeste, like Super Meat Boy. Like I'll play like a handful of levels, and then I hit a wall, and I'm like,
you're like, this is so good, but I'm not gonna keep going.
The game.
Yeah, I beat the game. I beat the game in my terms.
You did exactly. Yeah, I win by walking away.
Yeah, I was the bigger person.
I was the bigger person. Yeah. I have a moral victory over Super Meat Boy.
I was definitely the bigger person in this because I decided to not frustrate over Celeste because she jumps too much, and I'm getting tired of that game. High on Life. That was a game. It looks like freaking Outer Worlds, but it has the voice actors from what's that show called? Rick and Morty.
Oh, that one. Okay, I was like, I completely forgot about this. Like, I like I think I have Morty voice fatigue. You know, every time Justin Roiland does the like, oh, I don't know, Rick. I'm just like,
you again.
You again? Come on, you do this
You
the same voice
again.
a little too much.
Yeah.
Switch it up a bit.
What do we think about the Persona series going straight to Xbox Game Pass?
So, what exactly is Persona 5 R? Because I played Persona 5.
Yeah.
Is it the same game, just like it's just like a remake or something, remaster, or is it like a whole different version? Because sometimes they're like you think it's the same Shin Megami game, but but they're like it's like a Dance Dance Revolution game or some
No.
shit. You know?
That is true. They didn't they? I thought they made something
Yeah,
like that. Yeah, that is
like,
true.
yeah.
Yeah. No, it's Persona 5 Royal is like it's like a more of an action adventure.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
And
So
I
it's
think
like
it continues. So but I haven't played it.
interesting.
Yeah, I haven't played it, but I
Okay.
know what it is. But if it
Yeah,
comes to Xbox, I think I'm gonna put it in my back catalog and play it.
that makes sense. Yeah, because like they were showing what I now realized it was actual real time gameplay. It just kind of looks like the end of battle cutscenes where they're all doing the attacks, and so that's
Hmm.
kind of what I assumed it was. But
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I
But
could. I
like
could hear that.
I've really liked that game, but like
Mhm.
um it's a bit long and slow at times for me for like what I normally like, but it
Mhm.
is the art and the storytelling and the voice acting, especially the music. It's just so good that it kept me
Facts.
playing. I think 90 hours of that game. I was like this. I
I
just
think
played straight.
that is probably the best video game soundtrack I've ever heard.
It's
One of them.
definitely yeah. It's really good. It's
Yeah.
definitely up there. Like
Yeah.
there's like I saw this person on Twitter was like, you play Persona 5 one time and then your Spotify looks like this and it's just nothing but acid jazz.
Acid jazz, yeah. It's so good. It's so good. It's like, and then how it changes when it's like rain to
Mhm.
like when it's not raining, and it's just it fits perfectly.
Yeah,
Um,
I still have those songs stuck in my head sometimes. I'll be walking around and like, if you see me coming, you know what I mean?
Where have you been? And then
Yeah, oh yeah.
I mean, it's ridiculous because
Hmm.
it's like it's so subtle and it comes right
Yes.
in, and then it
Yeah,
sounds good
that's
in
the like the
Japanese too.
cafe song at the end of the day,
Yeah,
and it's just
yeah,
it's so relaxing, and it's
yeah.
just like, yeah,
It sounds
yeah.
amazing in Japanese too. It sounds great.
Hmm.
It sounds really good. It's like Kingdom Hearts. Like Kingdom Hearts music sounds really good in Japanese also.
Hmm.
Um,
Japanese music is like it's a very musical like language. I feel like
yeah.
it's like I don't know if you ever heard Japanese hip hop, but I have no idea what they're saying, but it just sounds really cool, you know.
I know are they a Korean band? I want to say okay, the people and if you're fans of them or somebody that's Korean and they're not that, I am so sorry. But um goodness, what is their name?
What's
Asian
like
Generation. They did
K-pop people?
I don't know if they're like a rock band, but they did the soundtrack to a anime that I really 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 liked. It was really great and I can't think of the freaking name right now. It's like one word.
You can always tell the good, like the animes that it's worth watching the entire series versus the ones that are going to end up being annoying at some point because either they have some of the best music you've ever heard,
Hmm.
or it's bafflingly terrible. There's never like just okay anime
Yeah.
soundtrack.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
always,
Yeah.
it's always like incredible, like Nujabes and stuff,
Mm.
or it's just like, why on earth would they put this?
Right.
What is this? This is-
Right.
yeah, it's
Okay.
awful.
This is driving me insane. Okay. I think it's what is it Asian Kung Fu Generation? I think that okay. I think that's right. Okay. So what is this? What is the anime that they did? Because they did like all their anime songs.
Oh, that's the name of the band.
That's the name of the band. That's the name of the
Okay, I
band.
thought that was the name of the anime.
No, no, that's not the anime.
Okay.
Uh, 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 uh,
That was a twist.
yeah, yeah. Because when I see the name on them, be like, oh my god, it was
It's like
such a good
BTS.
anime, and I recommend it for anybody, like anybody watching it. Like it's so good. I watched it on Netflix, and it was such a good anime. It's really bothering me. I don't know why I can't find it.
Maybe you dreamt it.
No, that's dang. I should write an anime if I dreamt this anime.
Yeah.
Uh, I'm just gonna say like anime intro because they did it for. Somebody has to have it in Twitter. Like, I mean, not in Twitter,
You
in
would
Reddit.
think.
I guess okay. I can't find it for some reason. It's just not. It's just not coming up. Like they're just like screw these dudes. Hold on. I gotta hold on, everybody. I have an anime list.
We could be here till 3 a.m.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm just sitting here and I'm like,
just in complete silence, just looking for their.
they don't. Okay. Apparently they've been in a lot of them. They've done a few songs.
No.
In a lot of them. So I'm just like,
Good for them. That probably pays really well, to be honest.
no, for real, because you know how they love just anime stuff.
But I think if you do the soundtrack for like a show, you get like royalties whenever the show airs.
So like when it keeps going and going and going.
Yeah.
That makes a lot
I had a
of sense.
professor who did one of the Honda jingles in the 80s and said that he didn't have to work for like a decade because he did like 2 commercials. Like, that's awesome.
Dude, I'm
Like,
gonna have
you
to
made
get
that much money. I was like, if you made that much money, how come you're a professor at a community college? And he's like, well, it was the 1980s.
it. Well, that was quite a long
makes
time,
sense.
sir.
I
That was
get
quite...
Yeah.
I can't remember this anime. It was one word, literally one word, and I can't think of it.
Bleach.
No, it wasn't Bleach. It wasn't Bleach. No, it wasn't
Inuyasha.
Bleach. No. Of course, no. It's
Pokemon. No,
it was a very sad one too. It was a very sad anime. It was like, oh my goodness. Anyway, A Plague Tale Requiem. Have you played A Plague Tale?
I didn't. I've never actually gotten around to playing it. I installed it on my computer when it was on Game Pass, and then I lagged so much in playing it that it rotated out of Game Pass before I had a chance.
I played the first one.
Super interesting.
Yeah, I played the first one. It's like she's running away from like people trying to take her brother because like he has like an illness or something like that, or they think he has an illness or something like that, or powers or something
It's
like
a
that.
really unique concept for a game, you know.
And it seems like in this one she's like fighting back. She's taking the fight to him. So it seems like
there's like someone got eaten by rats or something.
Yeah, it's like that. Something like that is going on. There's like that. There's like an underlying problem with that apparently in the story.
She like pushes the guy and he falls into all the rats,
Yeah.
and then they just swarm him and he's like, ah, and I'm like, that's awesome. I want to play that.
It's one of those games that it's like emotionally exhausting.
Brutal. Yeah.
Forza Motorsport got announced. It seems like it's making a little bit of a comeback here.
These games are just good. Like ever since I've had Game Pass, even before I had an Xbox, and I would just do it for a few months here and there on my PC. Like I always would play. They're just fun. They're just really good games.
Overwatch free to play this October.
Oh well, then
Overwatch
finally,
2, the second one.
Maybe I'll finally try it out then.
Yeah, because I never really played Overwatch.
I never played Overwatch. I played the first maybe like half of Earthbound though.
Yeah,
so close enough.
Totally. Yeah, Earthbound. That's funny. What'd you think about Diablo 4?
Well, it's interesting because it's like sometimes I have like a kind of conspiracy theory when companies do this. Well, they'll release something that they know sucks a lot, you know, and then a few months later they're like, okay, but this is the real thing though that you were wanting. You know what I mean? They're like, now that you're really mad about how Diablo Immortal is like it's cost as much as going to Harvard.
Yeah.
But here's the actual Diablo 4 that you thought we were going to announce that one time when we totally fucking pranked you guys.
When we messed it up, right?
Yeah. When we rickrolled everyone.
Never gonna give you
up. Were you just playing the record? You sounded just like him.
Oh no! Oh, thanks, man. I have a beautiful voice. No, I completely hear you. I'm really excited for Diablo 4. I did like Diablo 3. I think after all the updates, it was really good. Diablo 4.
I haven't played those games a whole lot. It's just happened, just kind of just a game series that sort of just
Yeah.
went past me, I guess.
When
But
you start
when I
like
have played them,
getting
they're
into
good.
it, yeah, when you get into it and you get into like the
Hmm.
difficulty and you make your this one you
Yeah.
can customize your character from head to toe, which is great. Like you can actually
Hmm.
customize the character, which I'm really excited for. And then once you get into the like the difficulty and getting the character exactly how you want to do it, and you have maybe even some friends to play with, it is really
Hmm.
fun.
Because it's like this sort of old school game, like like a like Gauntlet or whatever, if you remember those games, and it's
Yeah, yeah.
like my one fond memory of Diablo is when I was really young. I was at a cousin's house for like a weekend, and he had Diablo 2, and I spent a long time over that weekend playing Diablo 2,
Hmm.
and I really enjoyed it. And I just, for some reason, it just didn't occur to me to play any of the other ones after that.
Right. No, I hear that. Um, I'm going through a lot of games here because I'm like, we can't sit here and talk about every single game. What do you think about? I have no problem talking about this. What do you think about Team Ninja's new game, that Wulong Final Dynasty?
Oh yeah.
Because
So the first
they're
time I
just
watched
not doing a new Ninja Gaiden. They're just still not
yeah,
rebooting it.
yeah, I was wondering about that because it's like I don't know, like is it because when I first watched the stream, I think that like I had kind of like dozed off a bit and just
Hmm.
completely missed that whole
Probably
thing.
missed that one.
But then I watched it the other time. I was kind of scrolling through it because I wanted to get to Hideo Kojima, our Lord and Savior.
Yeah.
But and it kind of came off. But again, I was only kind of like I was just really wanting to watch the Starfield launch. It seemed like it was kind of Souls like maybe, or am I thinking of a different game maybe?
Yeah, I mean, it is like Neo, isn't it? Because that's what Neo is. Like
Yeah,
Neo,
because I
the
think
older game, the other
yeah.
game that they made, Neo.
Hmm.
It's like Neo's like a Souls-based
That's
kind of
right. I
games.
forgot that they did that. Yeah,
Yeah.
it feels a lot like a FromSoft game.
Yeah.
I played a little bit of Neo, and like it, and I was like, it's very similar to Dark Souls, except for the controls are just so slightly different that I'm like, I can't play this and play Dark Souls.
Right. Yeah.
I have to beat one first and then go to the other so I can get used to the controls.
100. I 100% hear that.
It's just so slightly different that it's like
I,
just copy them. It's okay. You're already doing it.
I kind of think that they should have did. I'm really surprised they didn't go back to Ninja Gaiden. It seemed like it was kind of leaning towards that. Didn't like Ninja Gaiden go on Game Pass recently?
Ninja Gaiden was like the original game like that. You know what I mean? Just the original like Japanese super hard like RPG kind of game. Like I remember the NES version is just absolutely just brutal.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go like the Xbox remake. I remember playing that a little bit and just
Mm-hmm.
being like, this game is really cool, but I'm not gonna buy it because it's just gonna make me angry.
Okay. So I'm gonna let you go first. How do we feel about Starfield? That was their big revealing, pulling back the curtain. This is the game we have in front of you.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Honestly, like with how indifferent I was to the rest of the like announcement for the most part, like I feel like I'm just sort of like vaguely like I'll probably try it out, especially if it's on Game Pass. But like Starfield, I feel like looks really really good, and I like kind of like made the whole direct, I guess you would like the whole presentation like be like a success because I was like, it looks like it's definitely the Skyrim and Fallout engine. You know what I mean? It's definitely
the creation
very much
engine.
Yeah. Which I mean, I don't really mind too much because it definitely looks to me like they've changed it up a bit. They've made some improvements and stuff, and the stuff that they're saying they're putting in the game makes it look really good. Like my initial reaction to it was like, it kind of looks like they looked at Outer Worlds and they looked at No Man's Sky and they're like, let's mash these games together, which is mash do that. That's
Okay.
that's a really good idea.
I'm actually surprised I'm getting a lot more of a positive reaction from you right now, because a lot of people
at first I was kind of rolling my eyes because Todd Howard is such a cornball. You know what I mean? He comes out there and he's like doing all this stuff, and I'm like, pay your employees better. You know what I mean? It's not making people grind for freaking Fallout 76.
Yeah.
their leather jacket. But
Always in the leather jacket. That's when you know something's coming.
yeah, yeah. I was hella rolling my eyes at like a lot of it, but the actual gameplay that they showed, I like the the stuff that people kind of don't like about Fallout 4, like the base building and stuff. I particularly like that about, I think that's really fun. And so I think it's cool that that they're putting that in Starfield, essentially. Like you can build bases and build ships and go fly around the planets and stuff. And they're like, for the first time ever, we're making a game with a whole universe. And I'm like, that's not the first time ever, Like No Man's Sky pulled it off eventually. Like they really do have some shoes to fill,
Yeah.
It's like,
how do I feel about Starfield? I'm excited. I think I should lead with that. I'm very excited. I think a lot of people are more skeptical, which is fine. I am skeptical, but at the same time,
I should say that my reaction is positive, but tentatively positive, because
exactly.
It is Bethesda. They could still find a way to completely,
mess it up. And that will lead into our main topic. Yeah, I know we're finally just now getting into the main topic, which we'll probably talk for the next 30 minutes. But I am I'm hyped. It's controlled hype. I'm just excited because I like video games, and this is a game by a mainline Bethesda studio. And this is a mainline Bethesda game where it's like these people have made Skyrim. These people have made Fallout. Like these are people that made some of the greatest games of our generation.
Yeah, I Fallout 4 is a fun game. I really like it a lot. But Skyrim is it's like a way of life.
Yeah, it is what it is at this point.
It's funny because like I keep going back to it, and every time I go back to it, I like appreciate it even more.
Great.
I'm like this might be my favorite game. I'm not even sure because it's like. I keep going back to it. Now, every time you go back to it, you do like a whole different loadout of like mods and stuff. So it's like you're playing a completely different game.
Right.
And it's just like, it's wild. Yeah. And it's like, which is like also why I'm sort of tampering my excitement for like Starfield and stuff, because it's like they have to live up to that. You know what I mean? Like when you say Skyrim in space, that's
a big bold statement. Yeah,
that's a big promise. Yeah,
I'm a little bit like, I think I have expectations. They're not high for this game. They're just very like, I expect it to be good, and that's just how it is. I think. What are some of the people? I think the combat. I think it's typical Bethesda combat. That's what it looks like. I think the character creation
into the first-person shootery. Like it's more of like a. It's more like kind of like. It takes more from like Doom than it does like the older Fallout games, which I mean it is a first person game where you shoot. I don't think it's a bad thing to have first person shooter again.
Yeah, I think it's it does look good, and they have the deep customization. They brought one of the biggest things I was really happy when they brought back is like they brought back like your character can have like a background and have traits.
I really like that too.
I was like, that is so.
That was one of the standout parts to me. Honestly.
Yeah, and that is like RPGs at their core. Like that is like so RPG.
Like it makes or breaks an RPG depending on the character customization. It's like sometimes when you boot up like a like an RPG and there's like almost none, I'm like, it's like a little disappointing. You know what I mean? It's like even Zelda, I feel like could use more character customization. You know what I mean? It's like I get he's Link or whatever, and it's like, but you let me change the color of his clothes and stuff. Let me give him a haircut or a beard or something.
Right?
Like,
why not? Yeah. No, I could. Yeah, I would like that too. Yeah, totally. I was just really happy with that. I was like, that is old school Bethesda. That's reaching back to the older like where RPGs come from. I like that. I think some people. I didn't really like how some people were like they're just doing too much. Like you could do you can. Customize your ship and you can customize a base. I'm like, I don't care. Keep giving me that stuff, like more and more and more. Yeah. Now, where people are skeptical is that
unlimited money now.
Basically. Yeah. I think what people are skeptical is like over 1,000 planets to explore, and I think that's where people are like, how are you doing that? How's that working?
That made me kind of pause too, because are they individually designing all of the planets? Or is it like because like, I hate to keep reading a No Man's Sky, but they do the randomly generated planets. But they have like 30 quintillion or something.
Ridiculous. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
It's because it just keeps going, which makes me think that they individually designed 1,000 planets.
I don't think so.
Which is, I mean, it's like impossible. There's no way that's right.
There's no way. Yeah, Bethesda has for how big they are. They have a.
That part was confusing to me.
They have a relatively small team, Bethesda. So. For how big they are, they have a relatively small team.
Yeah.
They are doing procedural generation from what I'm hearing Todd Howard say after in
Procedural
like the
generation,
post thing.
that's
Yeah,
correct.
yeah. But it seems like only 10 planets are going to be the main ones, and then the rest, the end game, is going to go to these other planets. So
Okay, so that makes sense. So maybe they put some more personal work into the main planets.
yeah,
Because for most of it, I was like, okay, like I could see them pulling this part off and everything, like the
mhm,
character customization and the ship customization, and like, okay, cool. They're kind of updating the Fallout engine to be able to do like vehicles and stuff.
mhm,
That's like the one thing that I feel like Fallout games could use is like cars and shit. But
yeah.
like, um, um, uh, then he was like, you can go to 1,000 planets and land anywhere on them, and I'm like, but can you? Like, I just like I don't know.
Yeah. Well,
That
I
part
guess
that
we'll
part did
see.
kind of confuse me a bit. I'm
Yeah,
like, how would this work?
yeah,
It looks great. It looks really fun, but I don't know if I'm gonna be doing that in this
yeah.
game. I don't know if that's gonna actually be in the game.
I think this game. I'm excited because I think I'm more curious of like how are they doing everything.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest thing. So
Hmm.
I'm not. I have expectations, like I said, but I'm gonna play it, and I am excited for Starfield because I think
Hmm.
it could possibly be a good game. Now, what I don't want to see is it's a good game and people are still slamming it just because it's Bethesda. I don't think the game
Yeah,
deserves
yeah,
that.
yeah. I think you know, as much as Bethesda brings a lot of criticism on itself as a company and executives and everything, you shouldn't like. There's the people who actually day to day
Hmm.
making the games.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? They're not the ones doing all the controversy stuff.
Right,
They're the
right,
ones
right.
that stuff's like happening to
Yeah,
usually. You know what I mean? So
exactly. Yeah.
it's like you shouldn't just hate on a company blindly like that because it's not really the company you're hating on. Essentially, and you know me, I would never defend any corporation, but it's like, you're criticizing like individual artists who don't get paid enough and work
Hmm.
too much. You know what I mean?
100%. Completely agree with you. Uh, okay. Leads to our main big question. This is literally 9:30 here. So 30
I
minutes to
think we got a
go.
good 3 more hours. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, 3 more hours of just talking about video games. I told you it was
Uh,
gonna be a lot, and I'm glad that we've been talking this whole time. This has been great.
mhm.
Um,
We had to make up for the last two podcasts that we
that is
didn't.
true, and this is our first one on Spotify. So appreciate you,
Yeah.
Spotify
Mhm.
listener, for
Oh yeah, there you
listener.
go. Nice.
Appreciate you,
Hmm.
Spotify listener, if you've gotten to this point.
Yeah.
And you know what's the funny thing?
Listen during traffic.
Yeah, you know what the funny thing is like. I've accidentally skipped, by accident, a segment that I actually just noticed. We'll talk about this for about 6 minutes, 5 6 minutes. How do you feel about the Sonic Frontier stuff?
Oh yeah. Like my initial reaction, I was actually kind of optimistic. I was like, this
Mm,
kind of seems cool. Like we both talked about that.
mm,
We were like, this seems like they're taking a lot of notes from like Breath of the Wild and stuff, and it's clearly a very early build, but it looked really fun. And then
yeah.
I go on Twitter, and everyone is just like, this is terrible. It's not even Sonic. This is awful. And I'm like, I don't. Are we seeing the same game? Like
Hmm.
it doesn't look like finished, and I guess people are worried because it's supposed to come out in like a few months or something. But it's
Yeah.
like, I mean, they still have like several months. So it's not
Yeah.
like it's coming out next week or something. I don't know. I feel like people are primed for 3D Sonic games to be just huge dumpster fires,
Hmm.
which is totally fair because almost all of them are.
Yeah.
But I really want this to be like good. Like
Hmm.
Sonic is like a deeply like kind of nostalgic character for me. I watched the second movie the other day and it was great.
It's a good
Like
movie.
it's a genuinely really good
It's a good
movie. Yeah.
movie.
And finally they've broken the video game movie curse,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I think if they just kind of put that level of like respect, you know what I mean, into
Mm-hmm.
making it that they did with the movies, back into the games, just kind of what it's been missing, I think, for a while.
100.
Um,
Yeah.
then I think they really could pull it off, and that's what
Yeah.
Sonic needs is this big open world to like zip around in. And
100. Yeah.
so like I guess what I saw when I saw the trailer was more of like a proof of concept,
Hmm. Hmm.
whereas I guess the more like I guess because the way they were presenting it was this is the game, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess I can see like how if that's like really all it is some platforms and fields that would be a bit empty.
Hmm.
But I just I highly doubt that that's the only thing that's there. You know what I mean?
I completely agree with you 100% because I actually thought the same thing. I have a video here on the Soul Dojo where I talked about like my first impressions of it, and I was really excited. I was really optimistic about it. I was like,
Yeah.
and like you said, you could tell. Like, it's like, oh, this is an earlier build. Like, you could tell it looks a
Yeah.
little bit sluggish. There's some pop in here and
Mhm.
there, some texture glitches. But it's like you go online and you would have thought you saw the worst thing ever. Like,
It
it's
was
like,
wild, yeah, because yeah, it was. I was laughing so much about it because me and you talked on, I
mm,
think, like on Facebook or something about exactly that, about how both of us were pretty hyped for it, and we're like, yeah, I'm really excited to see what the finished product actually looks like
mm-hmm,
because this is really promising. This is like what we've been wanting from 3D Zelda, 3D
mm-hmm,
Sonic games since 1999. You know what I
right,
mean?
right.
And like, but then yeah, and then I immediately, you know, clicked on the bookmark to go to Twitter, and it's just pitchforks, it's like it
Going
was
nuts.
so it's yeah, and it's like I get it. Sonic fans are, they're unique,
Mm-hmm.
but it's like yeah, give it a chance,
Yeah, and I think the weird thing is like people are like, it's so empty, and it's like that was a criticism that I gave it when I first saw it, and I was like, it looks a little
hmm
empty, but I'm like, I feel like we've only seen one section of
hmm
this island or wherever the hell he's at. I feel
Yeah,
like
exactly. Yeah,
they only keep showing the same section, so I'm
it's like
like,
the Great Plateau.
yeah, it's like. So we don't know. We don't really know, but it's like what I kept saying was like IGN's doing an IGN first over this. So it's like we're going to see a whole month worth of this game. So like this first
Oh, interesting.
gameplay trailer had to be
hmm
a small chunk because they have
hmm
a month's work to show them.
And I think Sonic Team even came out and said, yeah, that was a earlier build.
Yeah.
It's just the build that we have that's like showcaseable. You know what I mean?
I th-
And like,
I think with this
yeah,
game
it makes sense to
it's
me.
just like Starfield. I got to judge it when it comes
Yeah.
out. That's it.
Yeah. Well, and it's like anything is gonna be like that, Like if I'm making a song,
Mhm.
it's gonna sound like, you know, significantly better after it's been mastered and put up
Right,
on
right.
Spotify than when I'm just listening to mix number 3 in my
Yeah,
car or
yeah,
whatever. You know
yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah, I
Like,
hear that. It's not gonna sound as great. No, I completely hear that. Which leads me
making a
to
2-minute rap song is the same as making an open world Sonic game.
yeah,
I think it's,
exactly.
I think it's
All
roughly the same
hilarious.
thing.
Yeah, really close, really close. Uh, so why is everybody okay? So why is everybody so skeptical about? This is our big topic. Why is everybody so skeptical about big video game showings and video game and like what like how do we feel
Mhm.
about video game hype? Why do some people are just like I'm just not excited about this and I'm not excited
Well, and
about
that's the
this?
thing is, it's like it does seem like the more level-headed approach to just not ever get excited about stuff anymore
Yeah.
because it's just like because they brought the video game industry brought all of its bad reputation on itself, like from the like abusive like Eve's remote people into like the crunch and then the microtransactions and the fact that the AAA games for people, they do these big showcases of them and everything, this big gameplay, even when they say it's gameplay,
Mm-hmm.
it's not unreasonable to not believe them because
Mm-hmm.
so many times they've just completely lied about that.
Yeah.
Like with the 45-minute Cyberpunk demo or the I think one of the Division games did that too, where they're like, this is actual gameplay, and they're like very clearly acting. And so I just
Yeah.
like it's like I had to remind myself of that when I was watching Starfield because it is marketing language, you know what I mean,
Mm-hmm.
and it'll get you,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
so it's like, wow, this looks really fun, but I'm like, okay, I do have to remember
Yeah.
it is a video game, so they're probably lying, you know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, but
I do totally agree with you. Totally. Um, man, video game. Okay, so I'll say this. This is just for me. This is just for me. I think I get excited about video games off of just the default that I love them. Like I just love
yeah,
video
that's
games.
that's the like knee-jerk reaction for me too.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, you get to fly a spaceship, you know what I mean?
It's just so awesome. It's a new
It's
game. It's
cool,
so
yeah, I don't
awesome. It's so
know, yeah.
cool. And
Yeah.
and at the same time, video game hype is something that I've learned to control over the years a lot.
hmm
And it's like hype and expectation are completely different things. It's like I
Yeah,
expect this
yeah.
game to be good, so my hype level is there.
hmm
You know?
Exactly. It's like the difference between like expecting it and like assuming that it's going to be good. Because then
Right.
it's like, because then you're setting yourself up for disappointment a lot of the time,
Mm.
Because then it's, because if the game is just like pretty good, you're gonna think it sucks because you were expecting it to be,
Really,
a
really
master.
great. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I think games like Red Dead, games like GTA, games like God of War, games like Legend of Zelda, those games have hit those expectations. So it's like
hmm
we think every game's just gonna be a masterpiece every time it comes out.
You want every game to be, a Breath of the Wild. You
Mm.
know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
But
right.
or Death Stranding. You want every game to just be like we're super ambitious and we're hyping everything up and we're just gonna nail it. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
But it's like,
Push the gaming industry forward. That's what we're
yeah,
gonna do every single
but
time.
not everybody could be, Miyamoto
Yeah,
or
yeah.
Hideo Kojima. You know, it's
Exactly,
like,
exactly. That's 100% true. And I think and you know what? If we start on a smaller scale and get worse, I remember Watch Dogs. Watch Dogs was
oh
supposed to
yeah,
be the greatest. Watch Dogs was supposed to like
smaller and worse scale.
rival
Yeah.
GTA, like
Mm-hmm.
straight up rivalry. Like it was supposed to be great, and it was okay. Came out to be
It
okay.
was just okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought the one that was in was Watch Dogs 2 that was in San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was actually, somebody who lives out here, pretty impressive the way they were recreated the big chunk of the Bay Area.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was like really cool. But
It seemed like they
after a while,
grabbed what they were in that game and kind of
yeah,
ran with it. It was like, we know what we
it,
are now, so we're
there
gonna
was
keep
it was
going.
like a cool little, you know, it was like it got annoying after a while because
Yeah.
the puzzles were like just kind of obnoxious and
Mm-hmm.
the gameplay got a little samey. And after a while, I decided I was like, I played about like probably 3/4 of it. I know the game. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh,
that's
one of
fine.
those
It's
things you
whatever.
like to say. I beaten it.
Yeah, exactly. I'm the bigger person
I'm
now
the
in
bigger
this
person.
situation.
I beat
Yeah,
this game.
yeah. Now Watch Dogs 2 has something to think about. But like, yeah, like that is a good point because it positions itself to be we're the Grand Theft Auto killer, and it's like,
Yeah,
no, nothing is the Grand
nothing
Theft
like
Auto
that.
killer. Grand
Of
Theft Auto
course,
was the Bible.
yeah, of course you have games like The Division. Once again, decent game. Didn't really give the realism and what they really tried to do. Didn't really sell that. Didn't really sell
The
that
sequel
product.
leans a little too hard into the Republican propaganda for me, but
Oh, I got you.
they
I got
open
you.
up with that whole like 20-minute speech about like you need guns.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah. I remember that. Yeah.
all right, man.
Um. What
All
other
right,
game?
Ted
Of
Cruz.
course. Of course. No Man's Sky, Cyber, and I think the biggest one was Cyberpunk 2077. I think because it was a big,
hmm
massive hit from a company that everybody trusted,
Yeah,
and it was like, oh, anybody can
and
mess
that's
up.
where I think the hype can get the most dangerous is when like the people pushing the game start to like believe it themselves.
Mm.
It's like
Oh yeah,
can go all the way back to Peter Molyneux. You know what I mean? Everyone just hates him now
yeah.
because he just, even though a lot of his games are good, like I really like Fable 1 and 2 and
Mm.
stuff, but it's like he overpromised so much
Mm.
that like people just don't ever believe anything that he says. And
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And like that sort of happened to the No Man's Sky dude for a while until
Mm-hmm.
they finally turned the game. He kind of fessed up to all of that and then turned the game around. And then um but he's like a pretty unique case because
Yeah.
most of the time they just try to power through it, these
Mm-hmm.
companies. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like the game isn't bad, it's just
Yeah.
you know
I think
different.
I
You know
think
what
the
I mean? And
first
it's like,
game I caught the bluff immediately. Like I was like, this game's gonna suck, and I'm not hyped for it whatsoever. Was Anthem.
oh yeah, I didn't. Yeah, I was like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I was like, looter shooter. What
Yeah,
is this? 20
yeah,
freaking 14?
yeah.
EA, come
They're
on,
like,
dude.
because like for like the first like 10 seconds, I was like, that's just pretty impressive graphics and stuff, And then he was like, I'm getting in my mech suit, and I was like, okay, we kind of seen that a lot. And then it was like, from Electronic Arts, and I was like,
What the hell are y'all doing?
nope.
And that was
There
like
goes
that was
that.
supposed to be their game for the next 10 years, and it's like they threw
hmm
that game away so quick. It almost got thrown away as quick as Stadia. Like it was
Yeah.
so quick. And
hmm
I think I hate when people are like, well, I'm just not excited for video games anymore. I'm like, well, you're not a gamer
hmm
then. Like, I'm sorry,
Yeah,
there's
it's
games out here to get excited for, but like I
hmm
said, you manage your expectations, but you can get excited. There's
yeah.
nothing wrong with getting excited.
I think that's like really good to keep in mind too, because it's like you can be excited for a game
Mm,
and you can let yourself be disappointed if it turns out to not be good. But if you can't let yourself get caught up in like high assumptions and
yeah,
expectations and everything, because then because you don't want to get like pissed off. You know what I mean? It's
yeah,
like it's not like a hardship, you know what I mean, that the game wasn't good. It's like
Yeah.
it's you can be disappointed and criticize them, and hopefully they'll improve it with patches and stuff. But it's
Right.
like people like play themselves really, because
Mhm.
it's like, oh, this is gonna be the best game ever, CD Project Red,
The
nothing terrible
game
can
to
happen
kill
to me.
all
Yeah,
games.
yeah, and it's just like, and then yeah, so it's like it comes out and it's in such an awful state, like but even if it was like at because I think it had launched at like 20% finished, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
even if it had launched at like 70%, people would have been like, this is terrible, this is a
Yeah.
complete trash fire, because they were expecting it to completely revolutionize the way people look at video games,
Mhm.
and it was like it didn't even remotely do that.
Didn't do nothing like that.
I mean, it made people distrust video games way more.
Yeah, exactly, and
So there's that.
it's ridiculous. I'm still getting excited for big releases and things like that. It's just
Yeah,
now,
I
and
hope that they're.
I
Yeah,
think
I hope
Cyberpunk
they're
did
good.
what Cyberpunk did do was like we're noticing now that like when these games get rushed out, they really aren't done.
Mhm.
They really aren't done, and we need to give these, and I think that's a good thing. We need to give these developers time to develop these games. We need to give them
Mhm.
time. So don't screw that. You pushed it back again. Screw that. This and that. None of that again.
Mhm.
We don't need to do that
Yeah,
anymore.
yeah. Like what Shigeru Miyamoto said. The delayed game is good eventually. A rush game is Cyberpunk 2077.
Exactly. I think he said it the best too. Like he
Yeah.
literally said it the best. He literally said
Yeah.
it the best.
No.
Yeah.
Give me 1 second. I'm gonna just make sure no one's breaking into my house, because my dog's going
Yeah, your
crazy.
dog's going nuts. It's like I hate Cyberpunk too.
She's, she's a real Sony phone.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
What's that?
Yeah, I mean, if you guys are watching, this has been a long podcast. It's probably the longest podcast I've ever did, honestly. This has been probably the longest podcast I've ever done. Like, honestly, it's nuts. Appreciate you guys coming back to the Soul Dojo Gaming channel and
She's just feeling left out, I think.
Oh yeah, we're about to get a dog reveal, everybody.
Dog reveal.
We're about to get a dog reveal.
Oh, okay. Careful, don't sit on your tail. Okay, here you go.
That's an adorable dog.
Yeah. This is my old buddy.
It's like y'all ain't here talking about Sony.
Yeah. We're talking about Cyberpunk and Peter Molyneux. She's like, no,
Not that again.
not Peter Molyneux. Milo was a bunch of bullshit.
Good. I think we can that video game hype, all that, keep getting excited about video games. Matter of fact, there's a game called, have you heard the game Cult of the Lamb?
No, I don't think I've heard of that.
That game recently has made my list of I am buying the hell out of that game. That game looks
Just
so
the
fun.
name makes me really
Yeah.
intrigued. Like,
It's about a possessed lamb that like builds a cult and makes them pray to the almighty ominous stranger. I don't know.
oh, that's crazy. So is it like a goat simulator type of deal?
It's not a goat simulator. I don't know if you ever played Don't Starve, but it has that kind of like.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But it's like you build a cult, you build like demonic structures
That's
and
so
stuff like that.
interesting.
Yeah, dude, check it out. It looks awesome. The game
Yeah.
looks awesome. I cannot stress this enough.
When you
I
said like
cannot
Cult
wait.
of the Lamb, I was expecting some some slow, like brooding horror game, and then you're like,
Yeah.
you play as a lamb. And I was like, oh wait, what?
You actually you're the lamb. Yeah, you're possessed, demonized lamb, I guess, and you're like, oh, well,
You're the early 2000s hard rock band Lamb of God.
yeah, you're exactly that.
Yeah.
I feel like that anime show is called Erased, but I'm not sure. I just thought about that. I was okay.
It was on your mind the whole time.
Yes, I had to think about it. Erased. Yo, hold on, y'all. Yes, it was Erased. It was Erased. Watch that anime. It's an amazing anime. It's about a girl that goes missing, and the guy goes back in time to figure out who it was. The guy is like a pedophile. I don't want to say it on
dang.
YouTube. Yeah, he's a he's a pedigree. I guess. He's one of those people, and he like
Mm-hmm.
he like murders people and stuff like that. Anyway, yeah, it's really
He's one
really
of
good.
Jeffrey's friends.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a really good show. Man, thank you guys for coming back to the Dear Video Games podcast on the Soul Dojo. And quick surprise, you probably seen this. I am writing for Game Luster now as a freelance writer, and I am a video producer for them. My first video will be coming out tomorrow. If you're hearing this on Spotify, it's probably already passed. Game Luster, one word. You guys can look them up on YouTube. You guys can look them up, GameLuster.com. They do all types of game writing. We kind of do like indie stuff, news writing, stuff like that. They do a lot of indie games, which is great.
I've never seen you post about that. That's
yeah.
You're really making like a lot of moves. That's
yeah,
really cool.
thank you.
Real journalism.
Oh yeah, totally. And video producing, of course, with them. I also still doing my stuff with Sports Gamers Online. Of course, I'm reviewing Red Out 2. And yeah, my name is Curtis Russell. Make sure you guys subscribe to the Soul Dojo Gaming channel. Callie from the Dojo is my Twitter. Callie from the Dojo. Somebody got their Twitter deleted? I don't know what happened.
So I got my my Twitter was my original Twitter account was permanently suspended because I wished a particular event would happen to Senator Ted Cruz, and and Twitter just didn't like that. They're like, you can't be mean to Ted Cruz.
You basically can't be mean.
What are you talking about?
You can't be mean to him.
Yeah.
So you had it. So V Slapadelic.
Now it's V_Slapadelic. Yeah, it's different now.
V_Slapadelic. So if you're listening on Spotify, once again, it's Callie from the Dojo. Callie with a K from the Dojo, and then it's V_Slapadelic for him. Yeah. Follow us. I'm pretty sure you had a few thousand followers too.
I had I was approaching 2,000. Yeah, I kept going back and forth between 1,700 and 1,750, depending on whatever hot take I would have that day. How? And then it was a real bummer. It was a real bummer. Man. But it's whatever. I mean, it's at the end of the day, it's not the end of the world, but it's still really annoying because it's come on, Twitter. You want to say that you're not biased or whatever, but then it's people say horrible things to me, and Twitter's always like, well, it doesn't technically break the rules. Oh, but you criticized a Republican.
Well, it's their opinion about you,
Yeah. They're like, oh, finally, an excuse to get rid of this person.
Yeah, make sure you guys follow them. You guys can see my other work on Sports Gamers Online. You guys can see my other work at Game Luster. I know Walter keeps talking about it. He's working on a new album, right?
Yep. And tomorrow, if you're in the Bay Area, at 924 Gilman Street in Berkeley, California, I'll be performing at the venue called 924 Gilman Street, and with a bunch of my friends and headlined by Chesky. It's gonna be a really good show.
Hell yeah, what a great shout out that is, man. Make sure if you guys are in the Berkeley area, definitely go check that out. Friday night vibes, awesome.
Hell yeah. It's so long since I've done a show at a venue with people there. I'm real hyped about it.
That is awesome. Hell yeah, go check that out. Make sure you guys subscribe, and if you're on Spotify, make sure you guys follow us. We're gonna keep uploading. We upload bi-weekly right now until we start getting paid, and then I can be like, Walter,
so how does it work with Spotify? Is it gonna be up is it scheduled to go up already, or do you have to go through the sort of process like you do with songs?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to so you have to go through an RSS feed. So we're going through Anchor, which I actually stopped using Anchor when I first did the Soul Dojo podcast, but we're going to go through Anchor, and then we have to get approved to get on Spotify. I'm pretty sure I've gotten multiple podcasts approved, so I'm pretty sure we'll get approved. So it'll probably be up
nice
on
things about Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
That Joe Rogan, he sure is great. Yeah, I think we're safe now.
Yeah, I think we'll be up there very soon. So if you're hearing on Spotify, we got approved. If you don't hear anything, just you don't even know we exist.
You're just sitting in your car, just not listening to anything.
You're just not listening to great video game opinion.
Yeah.
That's just not.
Yeah. Why is nobody talking about Hideo Kojima?
Why isn't anybody talking about a demonic lamb? What is?
Yeah. I need this in my life.
Yeah. Oh man. Make sure you guys subscribe once again. Make sure you guys follow us. All right. Peace.